So today we have very eminent personalities of Jammu, the eminent people from Jammu already present here in the panel as well, people sitting with you, and I welcome you all. And our first speaker today is, may I request Professor K.L. Bhatia, who is a constitutional expert, and he's traveled all over the world and is a known figure for his genuine views about the development of Jammu. So first speaker, I would request Professor Bhatia to kindly speak.
Thank you, Dr. Dhiman, and other dignitaries inviting me to initiate the discussion on this particular topic, this progressive movement in Jammu Kashmir from past tense to present perfect and future definite. Before August 2019, there was occasion when I used to write that Jammu Kashmir was past tense, imperfect, and future seemed to be indefinite. But today, the things have undergone a tremendous change. Now, I call it post-August 2019, a seamless web to achieving peace and progress in Jammu Kashmir Union Territory. There are reasons to that. There was a stage when there were 3 PPs, private pocket purse. We have seen this particular thing, and all of you must have noticed it. And from these 3P, we have moved to 3P, public-private partnership. This is very important point to note. We have gone into the stage of IIMs, IITs. There was a stage when it was political carding. Political carding means deception, tricks, but now I don't say that deception has completely evaporated, but it has reduced, it has come down, it has been minimized. And now from tricks, we are towards progress, but that progress does not seem apparent, which is aspired to be in post-August 2019. It will take time because the spoiled things take time to improve and develop. And therefore, in my perception, when I have made these particular statements, there is a new constitutionalism. That's a new constitutional order. By this, your particular Constitution Order 272-2019, that deceptive 370 has been abrogated. But my friend Brigadier Dhiman says in army language, de-operationalize, but in constitution language we say abrogation. Therefore, in Brigadier Saab, in your language, de-operationalize is appropriate term in army language. 35A, which was introduced by Presidential Order 1954, and which I called as a rarest example of invisible hands of invisible state. There was no need for that. I have written comprehensively, time is short not to develop on that particular thing. But to me, it seems that this invisible hands of invisible state have been completely evaporated. And that is one of the brightest side of the thing. Another important thing is doing away with separate constitution of the then state before 2001. Was it essential? Was it imperative? Was it necessary? to have a separate constitution in the federal structure of under the Indian Constitution. It was not required, but it was only at the behest of a few people who insisted on that, and what damages it created, what deception it created, that is well known to all. And therefore, in the present scenario, some politicians are playing a politicking to bring them back, but they should mind it that those things are gone once for all, they are now dead like a dead wood. So there are least chances of their revival, and they should not be revived at all. These are some of my few things. And now from that particular stage, deceptive stage, we have moved towards one constitution, which applies to the whole of Union of India, including the Union Territory of Jammu Kashmir. No separate constitution, it's only one constitution. Then one flag, tricolor, Indian tricolor. There was a time when the then Chief Minister of the state used to say, if you tinker with 370 or 35A, there would be no one to carry the tricolor flag in the valley, in the then state. And in this television discussion, joined with some of my good friends, we may have difference of opinion, but I insisted this tricolor flag shall be carried in the hands of those people who says that it would not be. They would start themselves from the valley, walk from valley to Kanyakumari, and that has happened. We have seen before our own eyes, and there are no two opinions about it. And then we are under this your particular federalism, complete federalism, where there is an interdependence of the states, including the Union Territory, and no independence from each other. I insist on my words. No independence. Is it not a progressive movement? And those who can't see it, I think they should come out of the sweet slumber and look to the realities. Another important point is, new constitutionalism has emerged in Union Territory, where these state laws have been repealed, all central laws are applicable. Wherever this Union Territory separate laws would be required, that the future legislative assembly would see to it. But under the present scenario, this is the position. Now, another important point is, some people are confounding the confusion with the word domicile. I am a student doing research comprehensively for the last 55 years on Constitution. There are world views. There are decisions of the Supreme Court of India that there is only one nationality, that is Indian nationality. There is one citizenship, that is Indian citizenship. And domicile emanate from nationality and citizenship. So therefore, there is one Indian domicile, like Indian citizenship, Indian nationality. There can be change in the residence. One may reside in one part of the country, another may reside in another part of the country. And according to Article 19 of the Constitution of India, every citizen has the fundamental right to settle and reside in any part or territory of the country, provided he follows the reasonable restrictions given under Article 19 to this particular. Not to indulge in anti-national activities, not to indulge in anti-social activities, not to indulge in those activities which may be jeopardized. Therefore, these are some of the reasonable restrictions which have to be followed. Otherwise, every citizen, including the citizen from the Union Territory of Jammu Kashmir, can reside, can settle in any part of the country. Similarly, any citizen from any part of the country can reside and settle in the Union Territory of Jammu Kashmir. Therefore, those who say that outsiders will come and settle here, I do not know what the problem is with it. Where from the word outsider comes. I have not come across in any act of the parliament or act of any state or act of any union territory which has passed. Where is the question of outsider? This is a very derogatory remark. Every person is a citizen of India, and if the citizens from the valley, I emphasize on my words, if the citizens from the valley can reside and settle in Maharashtra, in Gujarat, in Bangalore, why the citizens of other parts of the country reside within the Union Territory? Why the people having this industrial approach to set up the industrial sector in the Union Territory? This will progress, this will generate employment, this will generate the economic growth of the Union Territory. So therefore, such words, outsiders, are very damaging and disaster. They should not be used. Another important factor, in my view, in my perception, is with regard to resettlement and rehabilitation of Kashmiri Hindus, including all other Hindus who were within the valley, but they were forced, they were compelled to leave the valley and come out of the valley. In their settlement, in their rehabilitation, in Jammu, I have participated personally in that particular movement, and we have seen, starting from Sanatan Dharma Sabha, that down, coming down to the stairs, putting them in different rooms, and in other parts, we have seen them. Why they don't have the right to go back and resettle within the valley? This will create a balance in the population, because there seems to be imbalance. And when there is an imbalance in the population, it creates a problem, because it brings one-sided view and it does not bring the multiplicity of the views of different sections of the society. And if that has to happen for the progress of the Union Territory of Jammu Kashmir, this particular population imbalance has to be removed in order to this particular bringing peace and this particular Indianization within the Union Territory of Jammu Kashmir, particularly in the valley. This is very important. There are some voices raised, let there be Jammu Declaration, but they don't use the word parallel to Gupkari Declaration. Those who are aware, those who have read, those who have studied what was Gupkari resolution, that was very damaging, going against the Constitution of India, going against the Indian nation state. And let such people, even politicians or thinkers, so-called thinkers, I underline so-called thinkers, from Jammu raise the voice, let Jammu be separated from Kashmir Valley. It's very damaging. And if Jammu Declaration carries a slightest reflection of this your particular Gupkari resolution, that would be damaging. That would be damaging, because then it would be speaking the language of Gupkaris and old language of the first generation, where we have departed from this particular the democracy and this खानदानी जो होता है ना, खानदानी, this particularly legacy, उसको लेके चलना, I think that should not happen, because they have this particular dream, separate from India, don't go across the border, live independent. What is this? And then they blame the then Maharaja Hari Singh. who acceded to the Union of India with the Indian mind. Let everybody should study the policy statement of Maharaja Hari Singh of 15th July 1946, where he said that I look forward for the forthcoming Constitution of India, and I feel that my state, then state, would be a part of that particular constitution. That Maharaja Hari Singh had this great vision, and today they say that he created problem. He did not create any problem. Rather, those people who started these particular things, and now they also want to carry out the same legacy, and they save this particular the legacy. I think that should not happen within the Jammu region, separating Jammu from Kashmir and establishing separate Jammu state. That should never happen. They should change their mindset. They should change their language, because this would be a very the damaging, and this should not happen. And let Jammu Kashmir Union territories should continue. Time will come when those particular things which were made declaration in the houses of the parliament, and let that time come when this state is to regain. So long the things are going on peacefully, let there be union territory, and let it develop, let it progress economically, educationally, industrially, infrastructure, and all those particular things. And also this particular tourism also, like Mansar Lake, Surisar Lake, and Sannasar near the Patnita. If these things come up, otherwise not least things in this particular area. Histoire is not least thing in this particular area. These particular things, because I have traveled in this particular area, they must develop these particular. This what is required in unification of Jammu Kashmir Union Territory, and let there be no Jammu declaration at any cost. And those persons from the Jammu region raise their voice. If they are listening to me, they should take a serious note of this particular, a cautious note of this particular, my perception. And I think all other participants may have, I do not know what are their views on this particular point. But this is from the nationalistic fervor, coming from my this particular soul, coming from my heart, and this thing must continue to be followed. Some of our areas have gone to POJK. Some people, they call it POK. It's not POK. Then we confined only to Kashmir. No, it is Pakistan occupied Jammu Kashmir. There is our religious place, established, founded, worshipped by Adi Shankaracharya, which is called as Sharda Peeth. What strategies? At the present moment, I don't have any strategy before me. I have not thought over this particular point, but maybe surgical operationalization, maybe that thing, or maybe some other thing, because dialogue across the border seems to be impossible, because they don't believe in dialogue. Otherwise, dialogue is the important thing in democracy, and which I call as a lifeblood of democracy. For those who across the border don't feel this particular soul or this particular thing, some strategic approaches. I request Brigadier Saab, Human Saab, to arrange a separate webinar on this particular liberation of this particular Sharda Peeth, which is within POJK. And along with the Sharda Peeth, whole of the POJK comes within the fold of Union of India. That will not be a dream of a forehead. That would be a thing which would be seen in the near future. This is my feeling from the core of my heart, from my soul, and let us see. And when this separate webinar is held on that particular account, the personalities who would be participating in that in future, I think they may throw some light on that particular.
We'll surely do that, sir. We'll surely do that.
Thank you. So these are some of my perceptions on which I call it, there has hitherto been a progressive movement in the state, in the Union Territory of Jammu Kashmir, which shall be moving towards peace and progress continuously. And we shall watch for those particular things, what ideas I have in my mind, in my perception, that I have given vent to. And thank you very much indeed, giving me some time to reflect on those particular ideas. Thank you very much indeed to all of you.
Please like and subscribe.